First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Breaking news tonight, arrests and a manhunt in the recent Marion County murders. I'm Serra Sowers.
And I'm Francis Kapper. 3 victims and 3 suspects, all under 18. Last week, a triple homicide shook Marion County to its core. 3 teenagers were taken from the community: Layla Silvernail, Camille Quarles, and a 17-year-old boy who remains unnamed at the request of the family. Although 2 of the 3 suspects have been apprehended, one suspect, 16-year-old Todd Bruton, is still at large. Sheriff Billy Woods called upon the community to do the right thing and turn him in.
Now I'm talking to the viewers. Some of you know him, you know where he is, and you need to turn him in. Now I will get him. I will find him, and justice will be completed.
Sheriff Woods said that all 3 of the suspects are affiliated with gangs. The sheriff said that the suspects would not have been captured without the help of many agencies. Woods expressed his gratitude to the FBI, the U.S. Marshal's Office, and Florida State Attorney's Office. Sheriff Woods gave a complete account of the recovery of the victims. On March 30th, Layla Silvernail was found after law enforcement received a call near Lake Park. When she was found, she was suffering from a gunshot wound. She died as a result of her injuries. The second victim, a 17-year-old male, was found the following morning on the side of the road. He had also died from his injuries. On April 1st, deputies found the third victim, a 16-year-old girl named Camille Quarles. She was found in the trunk of a car, submerged in a lake. She had also been shot. Woods believed they were together when they were shot, but their bodies were dumped in separate places. At his press conference today, Sheriff Woods believes that the juveniles had gotten the handgun through burglaries. WUFT will continue to update you as we search for more information on this tragedy.
Permitless carry will soon be legal in the state of Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis signed the bill that takes effect July 1st. WUFT's Chris Will explains what the change means and what could be next.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. The new law will allow people in Florida to carry a concealed weapon without any permit requirement at all. It's a part of a nearly 106-page bill labeled House Bill 543, but the debate starts with what to call it.
Some call it permitless carry. Others call it constitutional carry. But Moms Demand Action calls it...
This is a very dangerous law.
It's House Bill 543, internally known as the Public Safety Bill, and it removes the permit requirement to carry a concealed firearm in the state of Florida. It's left some residents concerned.
Well, we know from other states that have removed permitting requirements that it makes it easier for dangerous people to carry a gun in public spaces like this park, like our grocery stores, our malls, shopping malls, and on the streets of our neighborhoods.
Supporters of the law believe it will allow those in harm's way to better protect themselves.
Women and other people who don't want to go through the hoops, who are at risk for domestic violence and other things, to allow themselves to protect themselves in a much quicker, expedient fashion.
The current process for a permit involves a class, fingerprinting, and a nearly 3-month wait period. With permitless carry, gun owners can skip those steps and just go through the 3-day waiting period when getting a gun. The change is part of sweeping legislative moves by Governor Ron DeSantis and state Republicans that hold a supermajority in the legislature.
They don't care. They're just on a mission. They've got their schedule. They were going to sign the law as part of a sequence of bad laws in Florida, and they want people to believe that there's nothing we can do about gun violence, that it's an act of nature, which is not true. We know it's preventable.
The bill now puts gun training as a personal responsibility instead of a legal one.
If you want to use it as a tool for self-defense, that's your responsibility to become proficient with it. It is your responsibility to be able to use it in a way that defends your life, your family's life, and your community's life.
The change maintains state and federal regulations regarding who can buy a gun, such as 21 years of age and background checks.
The bill is set to go into effect on July 1st of this year and will really only impact handguns that can be concealed. State lawmakers have made steps towards a potential open carry law, but no such amendment has passed. However, the move to bring the age requirement from 21 to 18 is still on the table. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. Sarah, it's been gross and sticky outside all day today, but that's what makes Florida feel like Florida.
It sure is, Francis. I heard we can be expecting some of those April showers soon. WUFT's Shawn Humphrey joins us now with the weather forecast. Shawn, what should we expect our viewers to see tonight?
Well, tonight there's a slight chance of rain, but the big chance for rain comes this weekend, especially Saturday. I'll tell you more about that during our full weather forecast. But right now, here at the University of Florida, it's partly cloudy. Those clouds have cleared up a bit from what we saw earlier today. 88 degrees outside, approaching the high for the day of 89. And those temperatures will be dipping as we get down into the night, but they won't be quite cool. 66 degrees is the low for tonight. And let's look at the lows around the area. North Central Florida, low, mid to high 60s across the board, save for Cedar Key at 71 degrees. And over the rest of North Central Florida, the highs tomorrow in the 80s across the board. Back to you.
Thank you. The city of Gainesville will allow a large development on the north side of town after negotiating for conservation lands and for other factors. The Weyerhaeuser land to be developed is more than 700 acres along State Route 121. The city had several conditions before approving the large project, which could have many hundreds of housing units. 65% of the acres, including a wetlands patch and scattered uplands, will be saved for conservation, and 5% of the housing units will be earmarked to meet affordable housing standards. The developer will have to pay for a traffic study, and if the city is ever able to extend bus service that far north, the developer will have to build the RTS stations.
A cultural music festival traveling Florida makes its way back to Gainesville. The Afro Roots Festival is a two-day event to share the roots of Afro-Cuban art. Day one included a series of workshops that allowed participants to dive into the culture. Each class targets a different area of Afro-Caribbean art, such as music, dance, and percussion. The sold-out event reached capacity with 50 people attending and more watching on Zoom.
Gainesville doesn't have access so much to this type of culture and music, so it's a way for us to bring it to the community and make it accessible and engaging. Where, it's lacking, we fill that void.
Day two will bring a free concert to Bo Diddley Plaza tomorrow night.
The Afro Roots Festival looks like a fun event to check out this weekend.
Definitely, Francis. And coming up on WUFT News First at 5, we have international news from the Middle East where tension builds after Israel struck Lebanon during a week of religious holidays. Stay with us.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
On this Good Friday, the Pope had to skip most of the Way of the Cross events. Pope Francis was recently hospitalized for bronchitis, and it didn't seem wise to go out in extremely cold weather in Rome. He planned to attend the Passion celebration at St. Peter's Basilica to kick things off. But instead of presiding over the torch-led procession at the Colosseum, Pope Francis planned to watch on his TV from his Vatican residence.
Israel responds with force to rocket attacks during Passover. NBC's Raf Sanchez says this morning airstrikes on Lebanon were the biggest in 17 years.
This week's violence started here at the Al-Aqsa Mosque complex in Jerusalem, but it didn't stop here. Instead, this chaotic situation has been spreading across the region from Lebanon to Gaza to the occupied West Bank. Breaking it down, the Israeli military says today 2 Israeli women were killed and a third critically wounded in a shooting attack in the West Bank earlier. A massive manhunt is now underway for the gunman, and this coming hours after Israel struck targets in Gaza, but also unusually in southern Lebanon. Now, these strikes were aimed at the Hamas militant group, which Israel says was responsible for firing a barrage of rockets from Lebanon on Thursday. This was the biggest attack from Lebanon into Israel since 2006, and it is sparking fears of a wider conflict. Here in Jerusalem, tensions are high, and this is, sadly, a bloody start to the Easter weekend here in the Holy Land. Raf Sanchez, NBC News, Jerusalem.
You know, Francis, back here in Gainesville, these cloudy skies might have been a bad omen for the rest of the weekend.
Rats, Sarah, I was looking forward to Easter egg hunting. I'll be hanging on to every word Shawn says during his weather forecast.
Well, I don't blame you, Francis. This cold front coming through has a cold heart. It might be Resurrection Sunday, but the rain will be coming down. I'll let you know when and where when we return on First at 5.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Well, as we've been monitoring the forecast heading into tonight, the rain that was expected for tonight around 9 p.m. has cleared up around Palatka and St. Augustine. We were expecting some showers to push east. Now there's a slight chance of rain, but you can expect it to be clear around those times. At least that's what we're forecasting right now. But heading into Saturday, that's when you see that cold front sweeping through north central Florida, and from Gainesville east to Palatka over towards the beaches on the Atlantic Ocean, you'll see some scattered showers and thunderstorms. A really good chance for rain around 5-6 p.m. tomorrow. So you might have time for that Easter egg hunt, Francis, but make it quick because you might need to get indoors as fast as possible. And heading into Sunday, some spotty showers and thunderstorms, a slight chance for rain, but nothing is expected to be quite too crazy heading into that day. And if you take a look at the campus cam right now live at the University of Florida's campus, no rain, not quite yet, so don't start singing the song. 88 degrees our temperature here, the wind stagnant. No wind coming from any direction right now, and once again a slight chance of rain heading into the night tonight. But your low temperatures, you'll see it's mostly mid to high 60s across the board, up to 71 in Cedar Key, but across the board the temperatures pretty consistent over much of north central Florida. The high temperatures tomorrow a little bit different, a little bit more of a discrepancy, about a 10-degree range from the lowest temperature in the area to the highest temperature in the area. 79 in Cedar Keys, 89 degrees in the Villages heading into tomorrow, that high temperature, and 86 degrees in Gainesville. But if we take a look at our hour-by-hour forecast, you'll see the temperatures dropping into the 60s as we head into the night. 66 degrees once again the low for the night. Slight chance of rain heading into tonight. The storm tracker right now shows us spotty showers around Lake City or pushing east toward I-75, but nothing quite that we should be worried about yet. We might see those showers dissipate as we get around 9 p.m. Our 6-day forecast shows us once again that chance for rain Saturday and Sunday, and pushing late into next week. You'll see a drop in temperature on the heels of that cold front, and heading into the end of Passover, high chance for rain in the latter parts of next week. But back to you.
Thank you. Tonight at 9 on Channel 5, you'll see a special local documentary on the football program at Eastside High School. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Honestly, man, I got tired of Eastside looking bad.
We got a big responsibility on our hands and a chance to kind of bring the community back together, and the chance to kind of put Eastside back on top.
Give it all you got, did something. We don't come too far, fellas. This is the start of the turnaround right here.
Catch Slept on Eastside, Friday, April 7th at 9 p.m.
Joining us now is the filmmaker Trey Johnson. Trey, can you tell us how you decided to do this story?
Yeah, so it started in the class. We had to pitch ideas, and I picked the East Side because, one, I'm really into sports. I would like to pursue a sports media career after I graduate. But I'm black. It's a predominantly black school. They're a community that doesn't always get the resources that the rest of the community gets, and I just wanted to shine light on them.
So Trey, how about the effort it takes to make a half-hour documentary? All that filming and editing, all that time in the field, what kind of effort did you have to put in to make this product?
Can I just say I'm exhausted. We started this project in week 3 of the season, which is like late September, and we finished the editing and all that last week. So all the filming, figuring out how to put it all together, how we wanted to tell this story, it's a lot, yeah.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Gabriella Vitale. The number 15 Florida Gators softball team had a quite exciting 8th inning last night against Auburn. Our Jennica Clerveaux is live at Katie Cecil Presley Stadium to tell us more.
That's exactly right, Gabby. Here at Presley Stadium, plenty of Gator fans are walking up post walk off yesterday. And by that, I mean this series opened up with a bang. Florida walked off Auburn in a 3-2 8th inning victory. But first, let's talk about how they got there. taking it to the bottom of the third, where the Gators put the first 2 runs on the board after Serra Longley earned Florida their first base runner. Skylar Wallace then handled business at the plate with a stand-up triple that made way for Longley to score. Then comes Kendra Fabi. Fabi hit an RBI single that plated Wallace from third and put the Gators up 2-0. But those Tigers clawed their way back, managing to tie the game in the 7th. But with the bases loaded and no outs in the bottom of the 8th, sophomore Reagan Walsh put it away with the base hit to right center field to put the Gators on top 3-2. Florida has now evened its SEC record at 5-5. First pitch tonight is at 6 and tomorrow at 1. I would say, Gabby, I'll see you soon back at the studio, but I think I'm going to stay here to see how things unfold. Either way, that's it from me. Back to you, Gab.
Well, it was a night of overall dominance last night in Knoxville as the number 3 Florida Gator baseball team took down the number 11 Tennessee Volunteers 6-1. The Gators got on the board first from an RBI by Michael Robertson, and it was only a matter of time before Florida's bats' home run party began. Freshman Cade Curlin started the yard party with an opposite field homer and back-to-back home runs by Josh Rivera and BT Riopel broke open the game for the Orange and Blue. Brandon Sproat pitched 5 2/3 innings, giving up 1 earned run while striking out 9. The Gators will try and clinch this series tonight at 7 p.m. on SEC Network. The Gator football team continues spring practice as they prepare for the upcoming season. Though there are a lot of position battles between the team, the one everybody wants to know about is the quarterback battle. Florida's head coach Billy Napier said Wisconsin transfer Graham Mertz has been impressive to watch.
Just his maturity, his ability to learn a new system in a very quick manner. You know, he did 2-a-days basically since the day he got here. He's been grinding away behind the scenes.
Spring game is next Thursday at 7:30. The number 20 Florida men's tennis team welcomes 2 top 10 matchups to Gainesville this weekend. They're in a match against number 9 Tennessee right now and welcome the number 7 Georgia Bulldogs on Sunday at noon. That's all for sports now. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Gabby. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are keeping up with the tradition of having an educational White House Easter egg roll experience. About 30,000 people, mostly children, are expected to participate in the festivities on Monday, according to the White House. The Bidens will host activities with a variety of stations, teaching children about farming, healthy eating, exercise, and more, announced on the White House on Thursday. Participants include military and veteran families, caregivers and survivors, and tickets won by members of the general public that were distributed through an online lottery. Monday's egg roll will be the second hosted by President Joe Biden and the First Lady. You know, I've always wanted to go to one of those, but I guess I'm a little old for it now.
You know, I really would have loved to have seen the educational event myself. But before we go, one last check on the weather.
Yeah, these storms down south past the villages. Some spotty showers are possible heading into tonight. Our future radar shows us at 9 p.m. We're forecasting that there might be a slight chance of showers, but those showers that were forecast pushing east of I-75 toward Palatka and I-95 at St. Augustine have appeared to have dissipated. The chance for showers appears to have dissipated, but going into tomorrow, that's when the chance for storms picks up. When that cold front sweeps through the peninsula, Gainesville, Palatka, Daytona Beach, you could be seeing some showers and thunderstorms heading into tomorrow, Saturday, but heading into Sunday, things start clearing up a bit. It looks a little bit better, but there still is a chance for rain heading into the weekend. So keep monitoring that weather forecast because you're not out of the woods, even though it shows us that most of the chance for rain should be gone by the time we get into the late afternoon to the early evening on Sunday. The rest of our 6-day forecast shows us a high chance for rain this weekend, but as we head into the rest of the week, going into Wednesday and Thursday next week, 50% chance of rain both days. That cold front is going to drop those temperatures down for the first few days of next week, and those temperatures will be steady climbing as we head into the latter parts of the week, and they'll push back into the 80s. So don't get used to that break of 70+ degree temperatures. It'll be right back into the heat. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Shawn. Hopefully it will be a great weekend. BBC World News is next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a happy Easter and have a good night.